wedded couple. And we were asked, he was the worker, I was not a worker then. So we were transferred to Victoria Island. When Redeem is transferring you, they don't care about your location. They don't care about the proximity of where you live to where they are taking you to. They will just tell you it is God's work. Oh yeah, go. And that was when we were in Freedom Hall then. That was the time Baba Adeboye said they want Redeem to be at every 5 minutes. Is it 5 minutes walk or 5 minutes, 5 meters? I can't remember vividly, but I know something about 5 minutes. 5 was there. And he said that is what God told him. And in those days, I am talking about early 90s, when they tell you God said, you believe. I don't know if we call it vulnerability or because of lack of access to information. So we went and we were under a particular pastor called Pastor Philip. We were sent along with him. We were part of the workforce that went with Pastor Philip. And I and my late husband will leave Orile there. 5 minutes walk. Thank you very much for Larry. That's always my problem. Mo flow better. That's my problem. So, let me do it as I can do it, please. Timba shift Yoruba. What a point to shift. So, I don't know if I should call it gullibility or lack of access to information or walkabout. I said something as I was starting. I said this particular video should not be caught. This particular one. This is my experience and I have my reason. Please, I am going through a lot. That's why I want to redeem. 5 minutes walk or 5 minutes drive. Thank you very much. I'm going through a lot. That's what I want to redeem. Since I started on this issue, they've been putting copyright lórí video me. So, torí me if anybody gave video before now, please. Not only that, for another reason, personal reason, I don't want this video to leave my page. The only thing I want is for somebody to share it. So it can only be shared. It can't be recorded. So that's aside. So we started and we will leave Orile to Victoria Land, especially on Sunday. By 5 a.m., we are setting out to go to Orile. Sabade Orile, I mean, from Orile to Victoria Island, sorry. Amakuro ni Victoria ni Orile, you know, Losi Victoria Island. Remember I said we kini niwa Aisha marrying by a newly wedded niwa. So Tabawa Day Amanosorile, I mean Victoria Island. Then when Redeem is sending people out, there is no location. Odududu, okay. Kò sí location nígbà yẹn. Kò sí owó, wọ́n kàn send yín out. Ẹ̀yin lẹ ṣe máa determine ibi tí ẹ máa lọ set up sí. So we started from a clubhouse. Ìsín ni mo lè bèrè question pé why tó ń lo ibi tí àwọn ẹlẹ́ṣẹ̀ ń lò. Hello. Tí bá ṣe ń sọ̀rọ̀ yẹn, màá máa já mọ́ra wọn, ẹ̀yin ni kẹ́ máa get it together. Why tí wọ́n lo bí táwọn ẹlẹ́ṣẹ̀ ń lò? Because clubhouse yẹn, remember what they do in clubhouse? Wọ́n bára wọn sùn. Every condom everywhere and all that. So, èmi, immediately, àwọn bá ṣe wọbẹ̀, God of man yẹn, the pastor, Pastor Phil, immediately he said he is drafting me into the workforce. Ṣó ti yé yín, mo fẹ́ ṣe nǹkan kan ẹ jọ̀ọ́. Wípé he is drafting me as a worker and èmi ni mo máa jẹ́ sanitation person. I saw it as a pride. I never saw anything bad in it, right? So I was taking care of the sanitation. Èyí tí ẹ̀yin tẹ́ wà nílùú òyìnbó, tẹ́ bá máa clean bedroom, you are giving gloves, right? Even in your house, if you want to clean your bedroom, you wear gloves. I had to do it with my bare hands. This is a toilet. See, àwọn aṣẹ́wó lò. Tán ti ṣoríṣiríṣi. Màá máa fọwọ́ ṣa condom bí ṣe ń clean the toilet so that the church can use it. So we continue. Then suddenly, that Pastor Philip was to get married. And the guy has been dating somebody from Catholic Church. So when he was to get married, of course, only that is sọ fún head of the church, which is àwọn tó wà ní Freedom Hall. Ó wá sọ fún wọn pé òun fẹ́ marry o. Wọ́n wá béèrè, I fill form. They found out pé ìyàwó tó fẹ́ is coming from Catholic. Wàhálà bá bẹ̀rẹ̀ from there. And if Pastor Philip is still alive, or àwọn tájọ wà níbẹ̀, I think I communicated with one of them of recent. Tó rí fídíò mi tó ní, sister tó yẹn yín náà ti bọ́. Mo ní mo ti bọ́ tètè. Ó ní, ó bá bẹ̀rẹ̀ sí ń ṣépè fún wọn. Mo ní kí ló dé? Ó ní ṣé mo mọ̀ pé òun ò bímọ. Mo ní rọ́ ni. Ó lóun ò bímọ o. Mo ní kí ló ṣẹlẹ̀? Ó ní by the time tóun máa marry, òun discover pé òun ní fibroid. Multiple fibroid tó dẹ̀ ti tóbi gan. Ó ní by the time, I should block Toluwa. Tẹ́ bá ti rí comment, ẹ bá mi fi read it sí. Ó ní by the time tóun máa fi marry, òun ti develop fibroid. Ó ní kí n máa dúpẹ́ tèmi. Ó lọ́mọ mélòó ni mo bí because a ti ríra gbẹ̀yìn the 90s. Ìgbà tí ọ̀rọ̀ pastor yẹn ti ṣẹlẹ̀, Pastor Philip, ìgbà yẹn la ríra gbẹ̀yìn. That's a story for another day anyway. So lady yẹn wá ní, wọ́n wá sọ fún lady, Pastor Philip yẹn that he cannot marry that lady. The pastor tried to let them know pé lady yìí, ẹni táwọn tí ń fẹ́ra ti pẹ́ ni Christian dẹ̀ ni wọ́n ní no. They don't consider Catholic to be Christians. Eré ni àwàdà ni. The pastor had to step down because ó sọ pé òun ò lè fi lady yẹn sílẹ̀. Ó lóun ò lè fi lady yẹn sílẹ̀ pé òun ti ń fẹ́ lady yìí táwọn ti wà pọ̀ for over 5 years. Níbo náà ti fẹ́ kí lady yẹn bẹ̀rẹ̀. Níbo náà ti fẹ́ kí lady yẹn bẹ̀rẹ̀. Ọmọ èèyàn kan ní náà tóun bá disappoint ẹ̀. Tí lady yẹn lọ gbé nǹkan jẹ tó parẹ́ ńkọ́. Wọ́n ṣáà sọ fún wọn ní is either kó step down as a pastor tó bá máa fẹ́ lady yẹn or kó fi lady yẹn lẹ̀ kó continue. So automatically the guy agreed to go for the love of his life. Pé òun ò lè fi lady yẹn lẹ̀ torí church. Kan di church mú. Ipe tó bá jẹ́ wípé wọ́n ìgbà yẹn ní understanding. Bóyá kálẹ́mì náà mi ò tí ì marry kí n tó wọ̀dọ̀ wọn, mo lè má marry. Bọ̀bọ̀bọ̀ yẹn, ó stood his ground. Ó ní òun ò lè fi lady yẹn sílẹ̀. Àwọn parents àwọn ti mọ́ra. Everybody ti mọ́ra. So Pastor Philip, we call him Pastor Phil, he had to leave and he left the church. So ìgbà tó kúrò in church, wọ́n wá fi another pastor, ṣe pastor over him, which was the assistant pastor. Mi ò fẹ́ mention orúkọ ẹni yẹn ti late. Ìgbà tí wọ́n fi ẹni yẹn ṣe the next pastor, the same parish, we now had to move. Kẹ́ lè mọ̀ wípé Ọlọ́run ò pè anybody. Wọ́n wá move parish yẹn from VI because this new pastor ó ń gbé Surulere. Wọ́n wá move ẹ̀ wá sí Surulere ní is it Aduni Ogunsanya? No, not Aduni Ogunsanya. I'm forgetting the name now. Off Lawansin area, ṣá, ni wọ́n move parish yẹn wá because pastor yẹn ní pé tóun bá máa close in bíṣẹ́ is a very busy person. Wọ́n dẹ̀ lówó to some extent. So he was like, òun ní láti come to Surulere area. So he came to Surulere here, and that not Bode Thomas. It's not Bode Thomas. It's off. It's actually off Lawansin area. Actually off Lawansin area. Mo ti ń gbàgbé orúkọ area yẹn sìn. You know, it's been long tí mo dé gbogbo bẹ̀ yẹn. So it was moved to that area, Sha, and it made it easier for us after yẹn. Going from Surulere to the area was much easier. Ogunlana Drive, thank you very much. God bless you. Any get it? It's actually Ogunlana Drive. So it was on Ogunlana Drive. So we were there. And a particular brother that saw my zealousness and my late husband's zealousness and commitment towards the church. My husband was actually in the ushering department and protocol together. I was doing still the sanitation person. And funny enough, mo wá rí wípé it's now iye mi ń sọ. Mo rí wípé ẹni tó ń bá rí wípé wọn ò ní much ni wọ́n máa ń fi sí sanitation. Níbẹ̀, every other person wọn already àti wà ní sanitation, and pastor then fàyè lẹ̀ fún wọn. So I was more like the only person doing the sanitation. Tí máa gbálẹ̀, tí máa ṣe kíní. Wọ́n tẹ̀lé help ma ti gbálẹ̀ ńgbà mí, but the bedroom, I was the only one tó fi lẹ̀ fún. Remember, a ṣẹ̀ṣẹ̀ ń dìde as a couple. So when we left, when we now in that place, Ogunlana Drive, so there's a particular brother, Tony Ibitan Lo, that was given to us. That person gave the place to them as free. The guy was not collecting money. He gave it to them. So we were there. And a pastor there, the brother, one of the brother that owns that building, that gave it to them, the space, garage Elofunwa, as a place to be using. Taman Lobe. Remember, even in doing all that, we still contribute money. The offering and tithe and everything they take, and they still levy us for some other stuff. And they were levying us to see if you can get a building to buy. So we were contributing. So the brother gave us apartments. Nibe, ni lenye, ofwe mi ati late husband mi, ni building nibe. Apartments be yara kon, be self-contained, to stay in that place. So we were there, and it made churching easy, And after 6 months, my late husband got promotion at work. So we moved out of the place to a bigger apartment, like 3-bedroom, and things were started picking up from there. And in all of this, we were in our 20s. That is something I did not mention. I don't think I mentioned it in my video on YouTube. We were in our 20s. All this one we are going through, we were in our 20s then. So you can see how we started using our life to build their empire. So along the line, something happened, and we started living in Palm Grove. And there was this parish very close, to Palm Grove, Grace Tabernacle. And one day we decided to take transfer and move into Grace Tabernacle. We were still ordinary worker. In all of this, I wasn't pregnant. I was still looking for a child. Mi ò tí lóyún gbà yẹn. Mo dẹ̀ wá ọmọ. So I was still going up and down, going for faith clinic, praying, blah, blah, blah. Program camp and one bed, praying for a child and all that. So when we moved to Grace Tabernacle, it now got to a stage. They were sending people out. Yes, catching them young in their 20s. They were now sending people out. They now sent us out as a worker. A pastor. That was when my husband was ordained as a pastor to go and start a parish. The first parish Tomanika set up. And that parish was in Omole. We decided to make it in Omole because as at then, we have now moved again to Ojodu, to be living in Ojodu. So we now moved to Ojodu. So we're going from Ojodu to the place, and we were one of the people that said, oh yeah, go and start another parish. Any suru? Any suru ejo? So I want to see. I don't know why you are scared about my story. Oh, what do you change gain to? What do you want to gain from what you are doing? Anyway, so we were sent out. In all of this, we were paying tithe and offering, and they were meeting. So we were sent out. When we were sent out to go and start a parish, we were using the kitchen towers near Omole on Agidingbe Road. And guess what? We were the one paying the rent. And we started from there. bought keyboard, bought drum, bought chairs, and all the rest with our money. And we started. And, we started building the place gradually. Along the line, they now said there was a reshuffle. They reshuffled in Redeem. And we were put on another area. They put us in another area again. Reason why they did that, I don't know. But there was reshufflement in Redeem at a point, where they said some classical or some, whatever they call them, model parish, so many things were happening in Redeem then. And because we were not really close to the top then, we didn't know. But all they did, yes, you can share, please kindly share. So there was reshufflement and we were placed under another area. And we had to go to that area again. We were called back to that area. That particular parish was suspended, which was, what's the name of that first parish? I can't remember. That one was suspended. All the workers were called back. And at the end of the day, all the money we spent just went down the drain, just like that. So when we were called back to another area, we went back to another area, and on getting to that area too, they said they are sending us out again. That was the second and the last parish. So when they send us out again, we started that one again, and we were at Bagada, somewhere around Bagada by Mobu. I've forgotten the name of the Restoration Parish or something was the name of the parish. We were sent out with about 15 other workers or so. And among the 15 workers that we were sent along with, only my late husband and the assistant pastor have good job. The rest are hustlers. And guess what? The bills of rent and everything fell on my husband, my late husband, and the assistant pastor. So when we started, we had to rent a place like that we had to renovate. And we renovated the place with our money, and we started. It was growing gradually, of course, very slowly, because we had other big churches, parishes around us. So it was growing very slowly. And at that point, they said if you are under an area, your parish must be close to that area. You can't go too far. So we were left with no choice than to be in that Bagada. But of course, we have other very bigger parishes like Life Spring, Christ Church, and Deeper Life. A lot of big churches were surrounding us. So it was a bit tough. But we keep pushing it because we think we are working for God, not knowing we were a slave. We were slaves. We will leave Ojodu to be in church. As a then, along the line, that was when it was along the line I started having children. Not through your GO. After waiting for years, pikin no come. Now I go hospital. Now they tell me, say, now hormonal problem I get. Give me medication. Under 3 months, I get belle. So it is not through your GO. I receive tire. Your GO even say make you can't touch your agbada. Your GO say make we touch the altar. Your GO say make we touch a lot of things. As I dey touch, pikin no come. Belle no come. Okay? Belle no come. But even at that, as at then, when I get belle, I still ascribe the belle to your GO. Say na him make me get belle. Say na him, as he say make we touch. I still ascribe the testimony to his name because I was mumu at that time. So I said, our daddy GO say we should touch the altar, and I touched, and my baby came. Pikin where I get, where they say whether something born and when they help me bring him out. I say na anointing, they in head. People wey know me that time, wey know the testimony. Na mumu testimony I give that time. Na mumu testimony, so I dey tell you now. Say that testimony, Na mumu testimony because I go hospital. The doctor give me clomid. He give me clomid and some medication. Then I provide, I say then they call him. He say make I dey take him. Say my hormone na in no balance. And I take the medication, it no reach 3 months. Now I get belle. You know how many years I don't dey touch, but I can't ascribe am to your daddy in the Lord. Say now he give me, now he make me get belle. No be he make me get belle. I dey take my testimony back. So no be he make me get the belle. No be because I touch an altar or I touch anything. A lot of people are still touching. They never get belle. Na IVF then they do. So no ascribe am. I don't collect my testimony back. So along the line, I don't get pikin. And now so belle they come anyhow. After that medication, belle they come anyhow. I get one belle, I lose the belle. After that one, I get another belle. I never treat the pikin never reach how many age. I don't get another belle again. Now so I just they get belle anyhow since then. Because the hormone will no balance, they don't straighten am for me with medication. So if you are here, you they go touch altar. I pray say you no go late for you before you go know say waiting they do you. Now small thing. We be say na medication go correct am. If you reach 45, 50, now IVF go end your case. And you might not even be lucky with IVF. When you get to a certain age, IVF is not that easy. You go do IVF, you go spend money. Now it's even cheap. You go tire. And if you are not lucky, you go do surrogacy. You do, but when you do that surrogacy, Ubani, Isimiala, whatever your name is, Ori Eburu, that means you lied. Ó dà pé o mọ bí manipulation àwọn people yẹn ṣe ń ṣiṣẹ́ lórí ọpọlọ yàn. Ṣó wà okay? Ṣó wà okay? Àìmọye àwọn tó bímọ pẹ̀lú IVF tán ló ń parọ́ pé Daddy G.O kan ló fọwọ́ kan àwọn lọ́pọlọ táwọn fi lóyún. Ṣórí ẹ̀ ò burú, ó yá kúrò lórí péjì mi. Kọ́mẹ́ǹtì bọ̀bọ́ yẹn dà. Ó ti ń sọ kọ́ntọ̀kọ̀tọ̀ látẹ̀kọ́ tí mò ń wò ẹ̀. Mo ti suspend for 15 minutes. After this, if you come back to so nonsense, my block finally. Mo ti mute ẹ. Ó dà pé o mọ bí ọ̀rọ̀ wọn ṣe ń ṣiṣẹ́ lọ́pọlọ yàn. Ó dà pé o mọ. Are you okay? Anyway, that said, we were not going from kí ló ń porúkọ ẹ̀? What is this place called? We are not going from Ojodu to Bagada. And in the process, we have to give account of people, numbers of people coming. We have a paper they give us where we record all these things too. We have where we write how many members, how much we get in offering, in tithe, in women's offering, men's offering, and Thanksgiving offering. If at any point your whatever is called falls short of how much you gave last month, they will query you. They will write to you and say your offering has dropped, your tithe has dropped. What is going on? As at then, my late husband, ó ti ń di olówó, so they couldn't do anything about him. Bóyá kan pè kó kúrò ní church. Because among them then, mo mọ àwọn level tó wà. Level tó yí late husband ní wà nígbà yẹn was the level of àwọn ru Pastor Itu and the rest nígbà yẹn. They all know. They all go on there ṣe jọjọ máa ń ṣe meeting nígbà yẹn. So as at that time, there was nothing they could do. The stress was much and everything. And in all of that, I still have to carry my children very early as 5:36 on Sunday, as young as they were. And I was pregnant with the third one. We still have to wake up very early on Sundays to go. And àwọn ọmọ, it's inside the church, ti máa jẹ breakfast. Inside the church, ti máa jẹ lunch. Inside the church, if care is not taken, go, ni wọ́n ti jẹ dinner. And Okay, somebody said, Sister Aduni, I just invited Papa Adeboye's daughter from Maryland, Bowie Parish, to your program now. She's watching and listening. Go on, my dearest honest sister. Thank you, my sister. So, as a day, the stress was now getting much because my children were still very young. The last one then, no, I was pregnant with the last one. The second one was still a very young baby, like less than a year. And my first one was just about 4 or so. And, we have to wake all of them up. And when offering is not enough, they will query us. When tithes drop, they will query us. So what my husband does, and that used to do then, is to add his own money to complete the money and send it to camp. I mean, to wherever they send the money to remit it to wherever they are remitting the money to. If I knew better then, I didn't know better. And I was looking. That aside, the 250,000 he gives as first fruits every year. When Baba said first fruits is very compulsory. As at then, land in Akute was like 100,000, 150,000. Let me assume, or let me just say he paid it for just 4 or 5 years. That 5 years will have given us 5 plots of land in Akute. If I decide to sell it when life was tough for me and his kids, maybe things would have been better. But I thank God, even in all of that, I struggle it through. And I can say, Oluwa gbọpẹ́ mi. I can say, yes, atinileyin koju ma ti ni, kò jẹ́ kójú tì mí. I did it. So, we were gullible. We were so àgbọ́n. Oko ẹrú ni redeem. Tọ́n bá wà níbí kan máa gbọ́. Oko amúnisìn ni redeem. Wọ́n sọ wípé Ọlọ́run sọ pé every 5 minutes walk. Kẹ́kẹ́ àwọn máa kó èèyàn jọ. Oko ẹrú ni. Ọlọ́run ò rán anybody wọn níṣẹ́. It was their way of making money. It was their way of enslaving. Oko ẹrú ni. Mi ò kó padà sọ. Mi ò ní yé sọ. Oko ẹrú ni. Baboon dey walk, monkey dey walk, baboon dey chop ní ọ̀rọ̀ redeem. Màá dé sọ di tí mo fi sọ bẹ́ẹ̀. Monkey dey walk, baboon dey chop, òun lọ̀rọ̀ redeem. In those days, I remember we had people in the church tí ebi ń pa. God's will, Otuoye. You said you are sounding bitterness in my voice. Yeah. Bitter leaf no lo bitterness yẹn ló dẹ̀ máa gbẹ̀yìn ilé ayé ẹ̀. Bẹ́ẹ̀ ni. O tún rí dùnnú mọ́. Tí bá ń sọ wípé àwọn tó ń lọ sí church. Tí bá ń sọ fún yín pé àwọn tó ń lọ sí church, oró tó wà nú wọn, ó burú jáì. Oró burúkú. Wọn ò ní simple empathy fún anybody. As long as tó bá ti jẹ́ ọ̀rọ̀ kiriyó. Wọn ò ní single báyìí. Bó ṣe kéré kó mọ, wọn ò ní simple empathy fún anybody. Because wọn ò tiẹ̀ ní kọ́kọ́ farabalẹ̀ gbọ́. Even tó bá ní ọ̀rọ̀ tí mò ń sọ yìí, mò ń sọ̀rọ̀ ẹni tó wà ní 30 years. Remember I said we started when we were in our 20s. Ẹ bá rántí. So, ìgbà tí mo máa mọ orú èèyàn tán jẹ́, I was in my mid-30s. Oko ẹrú lèèyàn tí ń ṣe, téèyàn kì í jẹ níbẹ̀. Oko ẹrú ni kẹ́ ní nǹkan lọ́wọ́, and you see a lot of people tẹ́bí ń pa. Dẹ̀ ní fún wọn ní nǹkan because ẹ ní láti remit owó sí camp. Àbí bo náà remit owó wọn sí. Tó fi di wípé wọ́n ní báǹkì mẹ́ta lénìí. Ìyà dẹ̀ ń jẹ àwọn tó wà nínú ìjọ. Bí famine ṣe wà ní Nàìjíríà, where is their food bank every day fún members wọn? Ṣé bọ́lọ́mọ bàbá wà ń bí? Bó ti yẹ pé àwọn náà ní bí wọ́n ṣe rú ẹ̀. Àwọn èèyàn kan, gbogbo nǹkan tá enjoy yìí ń bí, ìjọba ní kọ́kọ́ ló ń ṣe. Àwọn olówó náà jẹ́ kí bí rọrùn, náà jẹ́ kí bí túbà, náà jẹ́ kí bí dìbì tẹ́wọ̀n èèyàn ń sá wá. Ṣé rẹ́yìn tẹ́ ń pera yín Christian yẹn, oró tó wà nú yín, kò lè jẹ́ kí n gbà tí yín láyé òun lẹ gbọ́ yẹn. Ẹ ní oró burúkú nínú. Ẹ ní nǹkan tó ń pè ní empathy. Ẹ ní àánú. Ó kéré ó mọ. All you are concerned is about your God of men. As long as it is about your God of men, even tó bá sọ fún yín pé your God of men ó pààyàn, it doesn't concern you. You will saw ẹ máa sọ wípé wọ́n bitter ni. Alẹ́ ya wèrè seriously. Èmi ò mọ̀ wípé wọ́n ní kẹ́yìn fàyè yín síyàn ni. Tó bá wá tásìkò tẹ́ ní ìdí wọn kánjú yín sọnù. Ẹni iṣẹ́ Olúwa. Iṣẹ́ Olúwa is that somebody should be working and one person should be chopping it. Iṣẹ́ Olúwa ni pé somebody should be working. Kí èèyàn kan kébí máa pa wọ́n, kán má rí wọn. Is that your iṣẹ́ Olúwa? What type of Olúwa is the Olúwa that you people are worshiping? I'm asking, irú Olúwa wo lẹ ń sìn? I'm just asking. Adeyemi Aromolano, get off my page. If you know what I'm saying is not okay with you, you have the right to leave my page. You people should not stress me, okay? Anyway, any other negative comments, I am going to block you. I said this is my own story. Don't tell me to allow people to hear their opinion. Okay, bye. Orí burúkú ló bẹ́ Adéyẹmí, ṣóbìnrin ni ẹ́? May you experience what I experienced. Ṣé obìnrin ni ẹ́? Nǹkan tó ṣubúlù mi á ṣubúlù ẹ̀ lágbára Ọlọ́run. Ẹ yẹ kí n block ẹni yẹn jọ. Total ban ni kó má mi fẹ́ rí ẹ lórí page mi mọ́. This is my own page. Anyway, tí ọ̀rọ̀ tí mò ń sọ bá bá yín lára mu, ẹ mú fóònù yín kẹ́ fọ́. Please, break your phone. It's easy. Break your phone. So, we were going from Bagada, Ojoju to Bagada. Remember, we were spending our money. Remember, we are spending our time. Remember, we still have to go for midweek service in between. We still have to go on midweek service. My husband will leave his business, his job, by 3 o'clock. No matter the appointments, Tobani, he will cancel it to go there, thereby losing money. I will carry my children, enter taxi to go and join him. We are not only that. On Fridays we have night vigil. On Tuesdays and Thursdays we have compulsorily we have to do all those their program. Digging deep, faith clinic, night vigil, evangelism. So out of 1 week, in a week, out of 7 days of a week, 4 days is dedicated to church. I wonder why, when I came here and I started seeing banner of Oyinbo Church, Oyinbo have church on Sundays alone, and their services maximum is always 1.5 hours. And I wonder, Egbo, that how come when we were in Nigeria, we have a Sunday service. That Sunday service does not start for workers. Sunday service starts from 6:30 a.m. By 6:30 a.m., all of you should be getting ready to sit down and settle down. By 7 a.m., the whatever is called, ẹ máa bá mi show love. Tó bá ti ń wọlé wọ́n wá ṣiṣẹ́ lórí page mi ni. Tẹ́ bá rí lékè lórí page mi àtàwọn èèyàn kan wọ́n wá ṣiṣẹ́ ni. Keep showing love and keep sharing. Ẹ jọ̀ọ́. Mi ò fẹ́ wọn lórí page mi. Wọ́n wá ṣiṣẹ́ burúkú ni. They've been putting copyright on my videos. Láti gbà tó ra àwọn àtìlúyọ̀ máa dé ti bẹ̀rẹ̀ tí mo ti ń sọ̀rọ̀ wọn. Ọjọ́ Sunday, by 6:30, you have to be in church, settled. By 7 a.m., you will start fresh anointing, or whatever they call that thing. Something service. Ẹ máa bẹ̀rẹ̀ ní 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock, láàárọ̀. On Sunday, when you are supposed to be resting after working Monday to Saturday, it is just because Nigeria is not working, and they really took advantage of that situation. They took advantage of it. I told somebody, I said, the day Nigeria works, all these churches will pack up because nobody will have time. And I pray Nigeria will work if it is by prayer. But it is not by prayer. The day Nigeria work, I repeat, the day Nigeria works, most of them will pack up. Because here, even ask a lot of Nigerians that were back home as workers, as whatever. They get here, they don't have the time because they have bills to pay. They have to buy more house. They are settling down with their children. They need to pay mortgage. They need to pay rent. They need to pay their credit. Ask them if they go to church on Sunday. Now beg them, they beg most of them. Nigeria will work one day. I may not be alive. You may not be alive. But the youths that are the youth now will grow up and see all this video we are doing. And they will make sense out of it. You might not make sense out of it. It's okay. So by 7 a.m., the anointing service or whatever they call the service, I can't remember the nonsense again, will start. By the time that one is starting, they will finish that one around 8:30. Sunday school will start. Sunday school, they will ask some question. God of man, Abi whoever, they will say they are challenging authority. They are becoming a rebel. When they want to ask some questions, logical questions. Ẹni sùúrù. Ẹ má jẹ́ lọ block ẹni tí kò yẹ kí n block. Mi ti ẹni block yín. Ẹ má sunkún. Keep on crying. Ẹ má sunkún. Like I was saying, Jere, we were on all of this. We were using our money because they will tell you God requires your money. God requires everything about you. So we will do Sunday service. After Sunday service, ministration, not ministration, whatever they do it, they will start it before the main service. After main service, as a worker, they will still tell you there was workers meeting or there is ministers meeting. At the end of the day is gone. By the time you are getting home, around 4 p.m., láti kí la ń pè? Láti how many hours? Láti 6 a.m. tẹ́tí kúrò nílé. The whole of the day, ẹ wà níbẹ̀. By the time you are getting home, you are so tired. In fact, àwọn ọmọ ti máa sùn lọ nínú mọ́tò. A ti rẹ àwọn ọmọ. Wọ́n ti sùn lọ. Ẹ̀yin náà tẹ́ bá máa fi délé, tẹ́ bá rọ́jú jẹun, bẹ́ ṣe máa sùn lókùn because you will be so tired. Meanwhile, àwọn tí ẹ̀ ń pa owó fún, àwọn tí ẹ̀ ń fi ayé yín sin owó fún, by the time it gets to a certain month, you will hear they travel for program. Wọ́n lọ sinmi nílùú òyìnbó. Wọ́n ya take off. They will go and rest in abroad. You don't even have enough savings to even take a break, to even go to the nearest state to go and rest. At the end of the day, husband, fasting is following. Marriages get as it be. If you are looking for the most pretentious marriage, àwọn kiriyó ni, wọ́n pretend you. Wọ́n pretend you. Ìjà tó ń ṣẹlẹ̀ nínú ilé wọn tó lè sọ síta because wọ́n gbọ́dọ̀ gbọ́ pé pastor kọ ìyàwó. Wọ́n gbọ́dọ̀ gbọ́ pé ìyàwó pastor kọ, wọ́n ya máa patch here out of fear. There is no more love because church ti gba gbogbo attention ọkọ àti ìyàwó. Kò sí nǹkan tó ń pè l'affection. Because all the time, especially if they make you that yeye pastor. That pastor where they make una, you are a co-slave recruiter. You are a senior slave, recruiting junior slave for them. God bless you. House fellowship will not one bed. After service on Sunday, you will still go for house fellowship. They will say it is compulsory. That house fellowship, me, I tell them as at that time, I said I cannot do house fellowship. I told them, plain black. And because they know, say my husband gets money, because as at that time, lowo dada, they did not complain. I wasn't doing house fellowship. My children were still young. I cannot come and buy. I refused it. I said I can't. And they never said anything about it. they left me. That is why I told you that the rules guiding the poor is not the same thing guiding people who are bringing money into the church. And that is why it is not Wigwe the first person to buy in Redeem. It is not Wigwe that the first time that will buy and they will carry on like nothing matters. Poorer people have buy and they didn't bother. It's because Wigwe was a rich person. No shenja. They have done it for a lot of people. So because my husband was rich at that time, they never bothered. I wasn't doing fellowship, but the other church members, they were doing house fellowship. I refused to be part of it. I said I cannot wake up 6 a.m. and I will still not rest. That we spent the whole day in church already. Which one is house fellowship again? What are we going to discuss in house fellowship that we have not discussed in Sunday school, workers meeting, and in regular service, ministration? What else is there to discuss in house fellowship? I said, no, I can't do it. And they were not complaining. Because they know he was contributing very well. When they said the area should contribute some money, he is putting money down. So they cannot drive him, they cannot fight him. So they kept on, they left him. Despite my being, they will call me a rebel, yes, and I'm